I'll just take a look at that for you. Oh, here we are. Is
Working now? Should be working now. Oop. Hello.
Yeah, there's a delay in it at the moment.
Test.
There's a really long delay. I just went to the channel and the delay is absolutely like be me, or it could be I went to a different video. Oh well, it doesn't really matter at the moment.
Yeah, I'll try and fix it.
Myself, because I'm getting that pre-game anxiety too, and I want to see the game start out. I want to get, I'm starting to feel the groove. I'm starting to feel that buzz, and I want that buzz to become effective. Right now, I feel like it's going to waste as we go through the champion selection once more. I will have to say I do apologize for the slight delay. This was, I don't really know what to say. Apparently,
I think I've just fixed the audio issues. I think it was just a bug with OBS and its update and whatnot. So
OBS always has to have a problem somewhere, whether it is sound or something else. Those problems will ultimately mean the end of somebody. I can just feel that happening right now. Just you're in the middle. You just start off with your stream, and then poof, nothing happens.
Yeah. So hopefully it's working now. I'll just get. Hopefully someone on stream can test. Yep.
Yeah, Mini Artillery can confirm that for us.
That's great.
Oh, so that's his name. I will still call him Mini Artillery just for identity purposes. Coming in. I think we're just going to be having a quick little catch up at the moment with both teams and their bans and picks. Like, I believe for those who are just tuning in, we have a Na and Tristana as confirmed bans, but that is completely it. University of Melbourne have three ban misses, or should I say a 3-ban penalty for a 1 unregistered sub, whereas on the side of Undefeated and Normals, which is on the left side of the map, they've lost all bans completely. So it's going to be a very interesting match if we see a lot of the hardcore champions picked. I believe Larson should come in with the first pick on Shen.
So I think we should expect the exact same picks. I'm pretty sure it was some placeholder picks coming out, so don't think there'll be anything different from before.
Oh, please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that word. That word is just cringing.
Placeholder? Placeholder?
No!
Yeah, I think
Why must you make me cry?
We've already been through that, so we should be fine now.
Okay, good. So we're gonna have the proper picks this time. We're not gonna have placeholding picks. That is it's a little bit unfair. I feel like that shouldn't be around placeholding picks. It's just you have the champion or you don't. Simple as that.
Unfortunately, some people do play on their second accounts, or some people just started the league recently, and it's unfortunate they don't have everyone. Yeah.
I just still personally think the placeholding pick, it just feels a little bit unfair. Like, if you don't have the champion, well then too bad you can't play it. If you wanted to play the champion that bad, you could have bought it. If you couldn't buy it, tough luck.
Yeah, the thing is, it is because it is a team game and you do want to pick it for your teammate. You're not really picking it for yourself. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, coming into these champion selections, we have two very powerful tanks starting off here. We've got a Shen and a Tahm Kench, as well as an Oriana. That's a very, very good startup.
Yeah.
The University of Melbourne, the Varus with the very powerful Varus siding up with the Warwick, followed by the Braum. Varus and Braum, I'm going to like this team comp down in the bottom lane. Corax and Shoot. I can't wait to see what I'm predicting in this matchup right now. Like, that is very powerful. That is a lot of CC just right there. Just Varus with his ulti and Braum with his passive as well as his ulti. Like, and it's very common for if Braum manages to get his passive off on 3 different people, and Varus just if he gets that Renan's Hurricane, it's like 3 people stunned right then and there.
It's
gonna be amazing.
It's just an extremely CC heavy bot lane. Once they hit 6, it's almost a guaranteed kill. Which is why I think the Tahm Kench pick really early on is a great decision from the side of UN. Tom Kench being able to eat up his teammate and spit him out. So
Oh, nom 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 nom. Just every single time I hear "eat someone up" as Tom Kench, the first thing that goes through my mind is nom 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 nom.
I
They
feel
should
like
make a garbage skin.
I
for
feel
him.
like another champion makes that sound. I can't remember which one.
Don't say Nunu. Oh wait, Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath is the
that's
one
it.
that makes that
Yes.
sound. Yeah.
Om nom 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 nom. I remember that very well. I remember that. I've only seen it once, but it made me laugh so hard that I actually I actually applaud him for the fact that how well that played out. Just
Yeah.
as soon as he ate me, well, as soon as I got chumped up from his ulti, I was just like, okay, I'm actually happy I died to that because that made me laugh just a little bit.
Is that just with the Gentleman Cho'Gath skin? That specific
Yes.
iteration of the Nom Noms?
Yeah, because it's more gentlemanly. So you get it creates a little bit of I'll say gentlemanly humor, or should I say a debonair humor
Yeah.
type of style. I mean, come on, when he uses his loud roar, he actually yells out quiet instead of just roaring. I mean, adding extra feature to a champion like that just makes it all the more interesting to play.
Yeah.
Now we finally finished off with all the bans.
Oh,
This is brilliant.
that's so tanky. That is a very tanky lineup.
Oh, both sides.
Both sides are very tanky. Picking quite safely, I think.
You know what, I gotta say, I'm happy I'm not playing in this game. I would be crying right now. Just the amount of health, the amount of tankiness, the amount of crying. I would feel very sorry for Varus if he can't really hold his own in this matchup at the moment. Hello, this is an interesting pick. If he's hovering over Quinn, is he gonna follow through? Oh, that's a very
smart pick.
Good pick.
Yep.
Yeah. The anti-tank, or should I say the anti-everything. Just that passive. Her W passive is pretty much the tank ender. No matter how tanky you get, she will just end you. You could have fucking 500 armor. That would not do much. That will not make much of a dent for Vayne. As soon as she's built, it's just like you don't have a choice. You need to zone her out, otherwise you will not be able to live through that team fight.
Yeah.
The final pick over with the Zac and hovering over.
Corki would be
Crazy might be wanting to go Corki.
Corki's a great pick here. I think it's a mid Corki.
Oh,
a very, very strong pick right now. Being mixed in a mixed damage champion. Being able to shred a lot of tanks. So both teams actually picking very smart, picking to play against their opponents this game.
I'm loving the matchup though. Like, just you've got Maokai versus Shen in the top lane, both tanky champions, both able to engage, as well as like be the sponge of the team, soak up as much as they can. And then you've got nice mobile champions, Warwick and Zac. Warwick, personally, playing a lot of games with him recently, he is very viable and both just clearing up camps, as well as making himself known throughout the map, especially when Blood Hunt becomes active. And the lower your health goes, the stronger he gets. And then mid lane, we've got Corki versus Orianna, both very pokey based champions. And the one thing I like to see with Corki is that if he gets nice and built, you can build armor against him. That won't matter. The fact that his passive enables him to actually use magic, be more of a mage than an AD based champion. Just because he builds AD does not mean he's going to actually deal physical damage. He will do more AP damage. It's harder to counteract AP damage. And then bottom lane, we've got Varus, who's a versus Vayne. Like, they're both scaling champions. Like, they need items to pop off. Like, Varus would need, obviously, his, Gwynso's Rage.
And then what else do you go after that?
Historically, people go for the Brennan's Hurricane.
Hurricanes, then Bork, I think. So you just go on hit items from then on.
Yeah, all the way through.
Yeah.
And with the update coming through, Wit's End is actually going to get much more powerful, actually. I believe it's I'm not sure whether it's nerfed or empowered, because I know for close range champions or melee champions, it is actually much more powerful. Whereas ranged, it is slightly nerfed.
What item is this?
Wit's End.
Wit's End.
Yes, with the patch 8.4 update coming in, they've actually done some alterations to Wit's End. So I believe physical champions have a quicker scaling rate compared to range champions. From what I'm told, and I think I read it in one of the patch updates somewhere. They've been doing like constant updates with the 8.4 cycle. So I can't wait. I'm just pretty much not going to confirm it. That's just from what I last read.
Are you sure you're
The
not
final
thinking about
confirmation.
another item? Trying to find out exactly what it is.
I'm pretty sure it's Wits End because I know they're doing scale. I know they're doing scaling because they did it with because I was speaking about this with Prote this morning actually. We were talking about like how Duskblade has had some alterations, and now they're also carrying it over to some other items like Steric's Gauge is now off limits to all range champions. Some champions actually used it because it gave them that like extra form of health, like it gives them an extra form of survivability.
Yep.
And I've just been confirmed by a source. Yeah, it actually is.
Yep.
Um,
So looking at it
it
now,
actually is
so
Wit's End.
for 8.4, it is Wits End. I don't think it's this patch. It's next patch, isn't it?
No, we're in 8.3 at the moment.
Yep. So it isn't in this iteration, so it's only in PB right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm very curious to see how 8.4 is going to go because there is a lot of changes happening in that patch, like mage items alterations, major item alterations. Like they all now have scaling cooldown reduction, which is interesting. Damn it! I was speaking to somebody and I was trying to finish off my question. I was trying to finish off my comment to them to link them to our stream to our Twitch stream, but then we go straight into the loading screen. It's a great day to be casting.
Definitely. Alrighty.
All right, coming to the loading screen. Oh, just look at those borders. Colors everywhere.
Yeah,
Except for
unfortunately, the
Corky.
viewers at home can't see these colors
Oh, what? Why not?
because they're on our special loading screen.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. You have your special loadout screen for when we're transitioning into the game.
Yeah, so we got a mix between gold plats and diamond 5 players. It's always great to see this division. You have such a mix of players.
I like the variance in borders. It just shows how much people how far people have come. Unless it's a Smurf account, like with Corky, by the looks of it, how that could be a new account.
Or a
He
banned
started it in
account.
preseason. Oh yeah, or a banned account. A lot of accounts actually have been brought back from the void recently because of I believe because of a small little resolution that Riot Games have actually come to. Because a lot of those accounts actually had I believe a lot of accounts that got banned had like a lot of investment put into them,
Okay.
and by bringing them back from the void, they can continue those investments.
Yeah.
Because no one likes buying the same skin twice right after they've bought it already.
Yeah.
Like that's like buying two of the same skin for two different accounts. That's just wasted money right there.
Yeah, I mean, some people would consider skins wasted money, full stop. I know a certain faker
That
would.
is true.
All right,
That
let's
is
pause
true.
on our 10 seconds.
I
Yep.
am on 11, but
Okay. I will be on 11 too. All right. So we'll start on 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Sounds
and
like
we
we
are coming
clicked
in
at the same time.
live. Do you want to start us out with today's game, Eric, or do you want me to start us out with this?
Feel free to go for it.
Okay, then I'll do the play-by-play motion at the moment. So to start off here with this game, we have oh right. Actually, you start us off for a moment. I just need to do some correspondence quickly.
Oh, timing. It seems to be that my game isn't showing. As I've mentioned before with OBS.
if you click over the source, which is your LOL application, and open the actual option for it, it should automatically reload. Sometimes it'll just go blank and it will just it won't recognize, and sometimes you just need to like go to the properties and it will just automatically refresh itself.
So what am I meant to press?
If you go down to you've got scenes and
Yep.
then you've got sources.
Yep.
If you go down your sources to the League of Legends application that should be in that listing. Right click on it and go to properties.
All right.
it should automatically refresh on your screen. Like sometimes it just needs to recognize the League of Legends client again.
All right, let's go for a pause while I fix this up. This is quite interesting. Yeah, everything just seemed to go AWOL with the recent update.
If you just open it up, like go to the settings of it, like you know how like you pick like you know specific window and whatnot, it should automatically refresh
Yeah, it didn't do
unless
that at
it's
all.
and it's still coming up blank.
Yeah, so I'm just going to recreate the source.
Okay then. Because I get that sometimes as well with my OBS, where I would open up my OBS, start everything, and then when I go into game, it just stays blank. And so I go down to the source and I like you know right click and go to properties. And when I open up the properties screen, the entire source is actually refreshed. So it's
Yeah,
like it just needed like you know that Kickstarter.
yeah,
On
the
behalf of Eric, for the viewers, on behalf of Eric, we do apologize for the small little technicality. OBS likes to screw around with us quite a bit.
the game
Oh,
didn't
we seem to
exist.
have hit a first blood moment though, as I'm coming into. I'm still watching the game,
Yeah,
but
you can
we've
you can
finished
continue
already.
watching the game, and we'll go all the way back to the start.
Okay then.
Yeah, it seems
At the
that
moment, it looks very interesting.
OBS did not detect the game at all.
Did you do window capture or game capture?
Window game capture does not work for me for some reason.
Did you go to a specific window or?
Not sure. Just give me 1 second.
Sometimes it's when you go window capture, you have to do capture specific window or specific application, and then League of Legends will be in the drop menu.
Yeah, game capture just doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for anybody. I've tried it and it just comes up blank.
Yep, still having difficulties.
Okay, Eric, let's go to a private call, and
Yep.
you can split screen your shit. You can share your screen with me so I can talk you through it.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just gonna display capture for now, and just work with that until the game starts. So if the viewers can tell me what's happening, that would be great. Hello? Give me a moment.
Yeah. You're using two monitors, yes?
My other monitor is not with me at the moment, so that
Oh,
may be part of
bugger.
the problem.
Oh, that would be that would have been perfect if you had two monitors. That way you could just have like, you know, capture the entire window, so that way you could see everything.
Yeah, I think the only way we can do this, if you want to start streaming on the second channel, that might be a better idea.
Okay, then let me just log into the other channel so I can get us started. Let's see, OBS. I believe I've got it in perfectly. Log in. Let's do OC Clubs 2. Oops, it is. Ah, crap, I forgot the. There we are. I managed to get into the other channel. Okay, then. Let's see. Dashboard. Oh, what a great way to start the night, eh?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I've got to go to settings. Channel and video. Nope, wrong one.
All right, I think I should be good again. Wow, let's drop
Is it
into.
registering on your OBS?
Okay, I think it is. Gotta fix that up. This is the clunkiest stream ever.
Are you alright though?
Yeah, it's all good now. I think.
Alright, cool. Well, I don't need to worry about it then.
Yep.
So let's go back to the 10-second mark then.
Right.
So we can catch everyone up.
Let's see the closest that I can go.
How do you go back a second?
I can only go to 3 minutes. If you can start from there.
You want to start at 3 minutes?
Yep, that's the earliest time I have.
Okay then. I will start it at, let's see, I'm at 3:02. See, I wish you could just go back. Actually, I'll jump back 15 seconds.
Yep.
All right, give me 10 seconds to catch up.
Yep. Tell me when
We've
you're on
already had our
301.
first death at that point. 3:01. All
Yep.
right. 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Okay, I am ready. Let's get this underway.
All right. So you've just started the game as well?
Yes, I'm at 3:03. Just hit
Okay.
onto it.
I'm on 3:15.
All right. Press pause for a second.
Yep.
Right. Where are you at?
3:15.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Yep. Perfect.
Excellent. We
All
are
right.
now in sync, live and ready to rumble. Rumble.
That was yeah, I completely get it. That was a stressful couple minutes trying to figure what the heck is going on.
Well, because we're a little bit behind, it's easier to be able to navigate ourselves, and we won't really have as much of a delay as what we would, like, you know, with the stream buffering and whatnot
Yeah,
between
definitely.
both of us. But coming into the game at the 3:45 mark, we've already had our first death. And unfortunately, that did go to, actually, where is that? Whoops.
That went to Corky, but do you want to run us through what happened while the stream was getting sorted?
It was a slight invasion. Corky overstepped his boundary a little bit too far in the blue jungle, over towards the blue buff near Zach. Oriana came to the defense as Corky tried to steal, and unfortunately did die in the mix. No, sorry. Corky got both buffs.
Yeah.
My apologies. I had a confusion right there. Corky invaded and went in for a 2v1, but because Zach was very low health, Warwick's Blood Hunts became active and came into the fray, allowing Corky to be able to continue the fight and take down Zach, claiming the first blood, as well as the blue and red buff for him to survive in the middle and the to survive in the mid lane for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Gaining that early game sustainability as well as the push or pokiness, since he has that.
And we see Zach coming to gank Corky right now. Unfortunately, he couldn't get his second proc of his Q.
Yes, that was a very good invade from behind. It's just that follow-up just didn't really come straight through. Oh, Warwick coming, sitting in that bush, ready with that howling gale.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was warded the whole time, so not much of a threat from this red team today. But we see they're extremely proactive.
Well.
They are extremely proactive. They already got that Wraith Snow Raptors camp all warded up, ready to steal it. So their team is quite ready. Yeah.
I like a team that's very proactive because it shows how much they are in front of everybody. Like, you know, it shows how much they have confidence in themselves, as well as they're confident in leading this game. Like, you know, if they want the enemy to play into their hands, they can easily do so. And with that right now, I can't wait to see more of this. I hope they continue their lead, because it just creates more content and more action for everyone.
Yeah, what I'd like to see right now, which is what we're seeing right on screen right now, is Corky is just laying on the damage on Oriana. We can see that early blue and red buff being quite in favor of Corky. Him having most of his mana, half of his mana back up, being able to harass it very freely.
And now, since it is down, he's going to have to, make himself a little bit more scarce with his, his ability. I'd say his abusive ability power right there. Like, he's already hit level 6. He's already got 2 charges of his ulti up. He's letting it restack, so it's just, I believe...
Be a bit
I'm
of a
not really
top fight
100%
right
sure
now.
how
I'm
it
not sure what
works.
Maokai is doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maokai tried getting into a fight there. He got caught out by Shen, but had to flash out of there. So now that is a flash down for Maokai. If he gets caught out again, that could be very troublesome for Lord.
Yeah, and we see
You know,
Warwick
Larson
just doing Warwick
keeps him
things.
fun. Oh, a dragon
Yeah.
steal. First dragon taken by Warwick. This is what makes Warwick fun. You can take on a dragon really early, and you can survive it very easily. And looking over at the dragon pit on the minimap, he's got that control ward sitting down there, so he did it completely uncontested.
Yeah, it's just standard play from Warwick. You do your first clear, go back, get some items, get your control ward, and you take dragon freely with no one to contest. You still got to be careful, got to make sure your lanes have lane priority, so you can do that safely. And thankfully he did. So good work to him.
And also, speaking of typical gameplay, we see America coming in on top with their teleport just to try and keep the gap between him and Shen very minimal. They're both very close in farm. We see a Balmy Cinder on Maokai, and Shen is going with a bit of a unique build. He's got 2 longswords, as well as a ruby crystal, boots, and cloth armor. So I'm very curious as to what he's really building that into at the moment.
Yeah, any idea at all? I'm thinking Titanic, although that's not a very normal item on him.
I'm thinking Titanic too as well. Just thinking of it now, because the double longsword, all he needs is that that necklace.
Yeah, we see some aggression from Uni of Melbourne right now, but it's not looking to pay off.
Oh, Oriana coming in with the freaking shockwave. Warwick comes in with infinite duress to get that ulti down. The heal has been spent by Oriana. Oh, Corki comes in with that ulti. The care package has been used and takes her down once more.
Yeah, extremely well played from UM.
Yeah, it's just taking the invade for the double invade for the blue buff with the counterplay from Shen and Oriana, and then Corki coming into the mix with his care package, making full effective use of its range just to catch up to Oriana and then claiming that easy kill. Oh, Warwick's sitting in the bush. He's coming in. He's coming in with the howl. He comes in, dashes through him.
Shen, what are you doing there? What are you doing there, Shen?
I think Larson's being a little bit, well, as we could see, there's no wards there, so he didn't really see him coming till last second. I hope he didn't have the shop open while he was basing.
Yeah, he was,
a fatal mistake.
He didn't realize he was coming. He took at least 1.5, 2 autos before he actually realized and kept moving. What else can I say other than rookie mistake?
Well, I mean, come on. When we're all basing, the first thing we want to do is, premeditate what we want to buy so we have minimal time to sit in that base. But in a situation like that, I would sit on the turret if I was going to do something like that.
You'll be surprised how many deaths you have just backing anywhere that's not under tower. It's quite interesting.
True.
So to the players at home, that's something I ask you to do. If you find yourself basing anywhere that's not under tower and you die, just count it for the year and see how many needless deaths you could have saved.
Needless deaths. I would say that it'd be enough deaths that the death toll would be enough for all of Australia if we had to actually put it into comparable numbers.
Yeah, we see Corki just roaming about. He's taking out wards and controlling the enemy jungle. It's really great to see from the side of Uni of Melbourne.
He's just having a casual stroll, just going around into the enemy jungle, just warning about, making sure that, they know where Zach is at all times.
20 CS ahead right now as well, so, yeah.
Yes, and that's also the same with Maokai, Warwick, as well as Varus.
Before you get there, 3-man gank right now onto the bot lane. We see Uni of Melb just running around, waiting for Warwick to come. Warwick comes, misses his ult, gets onto the Vayne. But it's just a bit of a slapfest with all the tanks. And this Vayne is kiting almost perfectly. Ignite comes out. And overall, a 2-for-1 for the side of UN. And then Corki's down. Corki's here, takes the roam, and Zach is re-engaging, trying to get the fight. But it's 2 tanks. What are they going to do? Oh, the support gets eaten up. They spit it out. No, they are. They may
no,
win
he gets
this.
away with
No,
more
kill the
health.
Corki.
Oh, Corki is caught out. The 3 stacks are on him.
That's a 3-for-1. Corki made so many mistakes there.
Oh, just that is a very tanky combination right there. Just Zac with his ability to come around and Tahm Kench making full effective use of his passive. Just as soon as you see that highlighted lobster, you run for your life.
Yeah, that was an amazing team fight from the very beginning. Zac jumped in, Tahm Kench came from behind and started slapping them. So beautifully executed fight from the side of I was going to say United Nations, but Undefeated in Norms. So beautiful fight from UN, bringing back 3 kills. So 3-4 right now.
I'll just call him. We'll just call him Undefeated.
Yeah, and now Oriana's in the top side with Shen. Oh, Maokai flashes quite early and gets away.
Yeah, he's making very good effective use, of that flash. He's only using it when he needs to get out of a sticky situation. Whereas before on the bottom lane, when we saw that team fight, Warwick used his flash to keep the gap close between him and Vayne. He's trying to stay within that danger zone. And meanwhile they did get the kill, he ended up keeping himself in that danger zone.
Yeah, and Tahm is back in bot lane, just ulting over. Shen coming in with the ult on the Vayne. So it's a 3v3, Maokai TPing in. Shen getting a 2-man ult on the bot lane, and they condemn Varus onto the wall. But oh my god, what is happening? It's crazy. The Nom comes out, Warwick is there.
Oh, here we go.
It's too late.
Match coming in.
And
That's
good night to UN. 4 in the bot lane.
That is a 5-man action bot lane.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just the action right there. Just the Maokai with the teleport. Nature's grass from behind to keep them from being able to get away. Just Warwick comes in with the infinite duress to continue the fray. Care pack is used once more by Corki to get into that fray and get that 5-man match off. That was quite a play from Melbourne right there.
Yeah, that was amazing considering that was a reactive play. That was so quick from the side of Uni of Melbourne, just jumping in after the 3-man gank. Amazingly fast TP from... Proactive. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you can be really quick and reactive, but it was amazing. I'm not sure how they got there so quickly.
I don't understand it either. It was too quick for me to be able to grasp everything. My brain is still buffering that team fight.
Yeah, the thing that I found really sad about that fight was UN initiated that fight, and it kind of fell flat on their faces.
Well, they did well to premeditate it. They go and Tahm Kench ults in from behind, followed in by a Shen ulti to get him into that fray. But I don't think they were expecting Warwick, Corki, and Maokai all to come into that mix straight away.
The thing is, if this was solo queue, that would have worked out perfectly for UN. I doubt the enemy team would have reacted that quickly. But because this,
I doubt that very much.
Because this is a 5v5. We see Zac not jumping in, but because this is a 5v5 team coordinated game, they need to expect these things. You can't do 3-man ganks on a bot lane like that with TP up and a team like a team with Warwick and Corki that can get around the map so quickly. We saw Zac and Oriana still farming jungle and mid on the mid and top side.
Oh, we've got a team fight happening here. Blue buff has been taken by Warwick. A 4-man invasion. Now that passive has been popped on Zac, but he's not going to survive. Oriana and Tahm Kench come to defend, but ultimately do get pulled out. Just gobbling up.
Yeah,
Oriana
and we see Shen get rooted, and he might get away. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. The exhaust securing the death right there under the 2nd tier turret. See, I thought Shen was going to be safe there too, but Corki coming into that play and just continuing the fight was very powerful.
Yeah.
Very proactive team right now. I'm loving University of Melbourne's ability to be very proactive.
Yeah, it was great. What Zac needed to do was back off as soon as the enemy team was in his jungle. He wanted to overstay and take that blue buff for himself. At that time, when you see 2 or 3 people in your jungle, you just back off. It's not worth the death and the potential following deaths when your team tries to back you up. What UN needs to do now is look at the enemy ward coverage in their own base or in their own jungle and clear it. But right now we see another gank on the top side with the Tahm Kench and Vayne. It's a 2v1 and I'm not sure if Varus can get away. Shen ults onto the Vayne. Overall, Yeah, overall, Vayne picks up the kill, and they're looking to take top. Varus is there as well. There's 3 of the red team on the top side. It looks to be another team fight. Everyone onto each other. Warwick flashes
Oh,
away,
quite the
and
action happening
Dak
here.
looking to jump in, but he doesn't have his E yet.
It's coming to a 5-man situation at the moment. Oh, no, wait, 4v5. Oh, Brom's been caught out of the mix. Goes
Yeah,
down
they're still
while
going for the
someone's
Warwick.
stuck into his stomach. Oh, the dash out of there. The flash.
And that's a really good turn.
Duress comes in. Oh, that's going to be a
way too
complete cleanup.
tanky.
Is this going to be an ace? No, it was very close to a 5-man cleanup right there. That was very powerful from undefeated and normals, or undefeated and norms. That was really clean.
Yeah, but they may be overstaying a little long here. Potential to be wiped if they don't play this out correctly.
Oh, Tom Kench goes down in the mix and they don't take down the turrets. I thought they would have secured that first turret for their team right now, but because of that Corky split push right there, he's going in for that second turret. He's being forced back because the minion wave has been cleared, but it looks like their plays are being very taxing towards them. Like undefeated normals are having a problem. I think there's this problem that they make a lot of plays, but they're also being taxed heavily for it. Like Corky is able to split push. We see the Herald being abused into the top lane and is taking down that turret with the headbutt. And now they are looking to to escort the Herald through to the second tier turret. And it looks like we might have a 5-man action here in the top lane right now. Oh, there goes 40% of the turret's health from that single headbutt. Oh, they back away, but that's a lot of health. That turret is now down below half health, so that's going to be another problem they're gonna have to think about. And the tier 2 turret in the mid lane, it's just on a very minimal bit of health. That's like 5% health right there.
And look at the bot lane right now. There's at least 15-20 CS that's slowly being eaten up by the turrets. And they're not even getting it, which is quite interesting. On a team like Uni of Melb, you have to be really proactive and you have to be ready to counter the opponent. Right now, UN is moving so slowly. Their rotations aren't thought out at all. And it just looks like wherever they see champions, they just go there and try to kill them. Right now, you can really see which team is thinking about the game. Playing to actually win.
I think both teams are, thinking about the game, but when it comes to, efficient gameplay action, University of Melbourne have, they've been more successful with their strategy. Like, they're being taxed very minimally. They're very proactive. They're just as good with their reactive situations. And it's just working out well for them in all counts. Like, they have both dragons. They took the Herald. And just the ability to be able to 4v5 with the single split pusher, as we saw before.
Yeah, and we see Zach jump in right now.
Oh, gets that double off. Let's bounce, taking 2 people over the wall. Unfortunately, Oriana gets caught out. No, wait, sorry, who was that? I think that was Shen got caught out, but Tamken saves his hide. Zach goes down in the mix.
They can take Baron right now without the jungler up. This is almost a free Baron.
Contested Baron, I think.
Yeah, both team comps are quite strong. Uni of Melb is playing to their strengths right now, roaming around the map, picking up kills with their great map movements, especially with their champions. UN have a really, really strong team fighting team. But right now, we're watching Vayne almost pick up Maokai. Unfortunately, not being strong enough to pick him up.
No, definitely.
Yeah, we see a fight onto Warwick right now, overextending. Getting picked up by that Shen Taunt and the Oriana ult. Being a little over aggressive.
Very clean match right now.
There's another Ocean Dragon right up right now. Be quite interesting to see how Uni of Mel plays with the 3 Ocean Drakes. Do you know the exact stats on how much regen there is with those 3 stacks?
The 3 stacks on the health regeneration?
Yep.
I believe it is 12% of your missing health.
The 4 for
Yeah,
each stack.
12% of your missing health and mana per 5 seconds if not damaged by a champion
Okay.
for more than 8 seconds. So that's pretty much like a miniature version of a Warmog's armor right there.
Yeah. All right, so we see Corki in the bot lane right now. Maybe getting 3-man ganked? Not too sure right now. Corki's extremely strong. Shen coming in on the Orianna, but taking so much damage from the Corki. Shen just on his own right now. Dak jumps in, lands on the Corki. Still not enough to kill him. He's just dishing out damage right there. Everyone's chasing after Corki. Finally goes down, but ignores Varus to do all his damage. Meanwhile, Warwick and Maokai is just running rampant around the base.
It's very interesting how things have been working out so far. Like University of Melbourne have the advantage.
Yeah.
And just coming down here towards the bottom lane, Shen tries to get away, but is caught underneath his own turret. Now, I don't think they're safe under their own turrets, especially with that Baron buff and the empowered minions. That, like, the fact that that wave was right on them was just like, you know, it was right there. They could have easily just like, you know, actually I could say they easily took the turret, took a kill. They're pushing that second turret already. The first, you know, the first base turret at the moment, or should I say the inhibitor turret, goes down to half health. Vayne is very good at pushing them backwards, but she's a little bit behind. She's almost a full item behind.
Yeah, we see Maokai getting ulted and CC'd by the blue team. So tanky, he's not going down yet.
No, just the 2-item completion right there.
That
but
finally goes down.
It's a 4-man happening right there. Just he is soaking up too much damage. Just this sponge cannot soak up as much water as there is in the field.
Yeah, they're still going. They're still looking.
Dragon pit. Yeah, they are really hungry for the kill. Corki on the other hand.
Yeah, Corki's just a tank shredder. There's nothing you can do to him. All you got to do is run around and dodge his spells and hope not to get hit too badly. But Warwick coming in from behind. He's coming in from behind and he's gonna say lights out to Shen. No, he misses, but still dead. Like you said before.
There is not enough shields in the world that can save Shen from such a matchup like that.
There is no safe zone for Shen right now. Maybe his Nexus.
Maybe his Nexus.
Maybe his spawn point. What? Yeah. Even then, like I'm sure we're gonna see UOM jump someone in the very last moments of the game just for that final kill. Pulling it now.
I'll hold you to that. I think it's still a little bit unclear as to how things are fanning out at the moment, but you never know what can happen. Like, for all we know, there could be that single clear. You know, that could be that single ace that that Undefeated and Normals managed to catch them out, and that could be a game ender.
Yeah, what I find really interesting is Vayne's build right now. I don't think I've seen that too often. The Guinso's Rageblade Vayne.
I've seen it a little bit, but personally, I think the Rageblade is a little bit too soon. Like, you know, if she had another attack speed item before that, that would make a lot of sense. Like, you know, because you've already got that passive as extended attack speed, which makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, she just bought the Phantom Dancer, so Rageblade Phantom Dancer. Still don't think that's enough. I think there needs to be a bit more lifesteal on the Vayne, considering how much AoE damage the enemy team can do.
That is true, but also we need to consider the possibility that she has Bloodline in her rune tree. If she has Bloodline in her rune tree, that's more than enough healing for her. And it just all comes down to, you know, the ability to have a good frontline defense. Because if you've got a good frontline defense, hell, you could have no lifesteal, but you will survive so well because your team is able to prevent you from taking any damage.
Yeah, definitely. There's shields on Orianna. Time Kench can eat her. There's enough for her to survive as long as she plays quite far back and is stealthy enough to dish all that damage.
And not to mention as well, if Corki decides not to target her, just looking at those 3 items right there just really puts me on edge. Just looking at the completed Triforce, Infinity Edge, as well as Static Shiv really makes him a scary figure to behold at the moment. Yeah. I feel like if he goes into a team fight, it's just game over. They don't have enough light. They don't have enough magic resistance to counteract his ability to just, you know, zone them down and just deal all that damage. Especially with that 50% crit and the fact that he does magic damage instead of physical damage.
Like, what What they need to be worried about is how much damage that Corki does. Just watch as Corki shreds any of the tanks. And that's a tank with almost 3 items already.
It's only going to get scarier, and I can only assume with that item right there, he might be planning to go for that Righteous Glory to get that, the gap closing ability, you know, the extra movement speed. Just for that split second.
So if you were UN, what would you do right now to try claw this game back?
It's very hard
and don't
to
say wait,
decide.
don't say turtle.
I'm not going to say turtle. More or less look for picks. Get an entire area warded. Create a battlefield that you can actually see. I feel like at the moment that, you know, UIN have nothing. They can't see the battlefield. If this was a game of chess, they can't see the pieces, you know, they can't see where the pieces are lying, and they don't know what moves to make. And if they can make a pick, they might have the opportunity. But just looking at the completed items or the item sets at the moment between Maokai, Warwick,
yeah, and there's a bit of a death rush right there. Catching Shen out.
5-man happening. Varus ulti onto Shen, securing a very easy kill. Now that is a pick I'm talking about that I would want to see from UIN if they want to try and make a comeback. But I don't think they can make a comeback at the moment because that is an uncontested Baron buff right there.
Yeah, it's going to be quite hard for them. And if you also look at how Shen built this game, it's quite greedy. Going for that, we said the item before, Titanic Hydra, a very greedy item for Shen without being ahead. So I think it's going to be not the reason why they lost, but a reason why Shen isn't as tanky as he could have been. So we're seeing them, the red team, chase down Zac and the rest of their gang, whilst 3 in the mid lane looking to take down the mid tower, the actual objective of the game. So with just Shen Vayne in the mid lane, not sure if they can defend, but it looks like there's a 4-man gank in the mid lane. Is it enough? It's a whole team fight. It's gonna go all out. Yeah, things are going everywhere.
It's a very interesting match right now. Just looking at the team fight, it's a very huge hit and miss, but we can see that a lot of the blue health bars going down. So there's Zac's passive gone. The team has now had to disperse. Corki takes 2 kills very quickly. Warwick secures a 3rd onto Vayne, which puts him in a very defensive position at the moment.
Yeah, I think this is GG.
I think it's a GG as well. So if is this a best of 3 series?
This is a best of 3 series.
Oh, then I can definitely confidently say that game 1 goes to University of Melbourne right there, just with that team play.
Yeah, no need to dive any fountains today. Gonna safely take the tower and the Nexus unless they're dying to pick up that frog. I guess not. So that's game 1 going to Uni of Melbourne. So we have 2 games to go. Or 1 if Uni of Melbourne wins again. So
quite an interesting match right there.
Definitely. So we'll be going to a short break. I'll be putting on some music for the viewers at home while we get the lobby and the game set up again.
Excellent. I can go for a toilet break.
Lovely.
Holding this in since the start of the game.
Alright. Right. Be back soon. Goodbye to the viewers at home. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Hello, Eric, and welcome back. All right, well, let's get this second lobby underway as we come in with the first ban as Nah for University of Melbourne straight off the bat. Doesn't look like
Yeah.
anyone wants Nah to be played in these games at the moment.
Well, surprisingly, he is actually quite a strong blind pick into most of the meta top lanes, such as Camille, Gangplank, these sort of semi-bruiserish split push kind of champions, and once again, we do see the Tristana still very powerful as that late game champion. Everyone does know with that ridiculous attack range, obviously buffed with the rapid fire static shiv combination. So it'll be interesting how both of these teams try and opt in, knowing that these two very small but very influential picks have been picked off the table.
And I believe as well we're going with the 3-ban disqualification for University of Melbourne and a 5-ban disqualification for Undefeated in normals. For those who've just joined us, these ban disqualifications have come about because they have unregistered subs in for each team. So to summarize, Undefeated normals have 2 unregistered subs, so that has completely disqualified them from being able to ban any champion. Meanwhile, University of Melbourne on the left have only got 1 unregistered sub, so they only lose 3 bans. So they can still take out 2 picks, and they could be like pick bans. If they don't want Hectic Player, for example, to play his main champion, they can ban him out, or Larson, or 200, as Wiz, anyone from that team. It really comes down to how they want to prioritize their bans at the moment.
Yep,
But
so
we seem to have the same bans as last game too, just Tristana with Nah.
Yeah, I think they must have done their research and seen that Holic and also Larson are kind of these sort of players, so they're trying to remove the biggest threats off the table. We do see the Varus picked once again. Was a very influential pick within game 1. Rageblade sort of build with Hurricane, obviously trying to match the Vayne in power as well. We do see the Bard / Alistair being hovered, more likely the Alistair, obviously.
It's
Very
just
good.
hovering about at the moment, but it might complete. That looks like it might be a complete lock-in at the moment. No, he's coming in
Ooh,
with the Braum to lock
Braum.
out Shoot from claiming him once more.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, obviously Braum being one of those quite high up supports, not on the scale of more so an Alistair or perhaps even a Janna. If you can play Janna correctly, can be quite oppressive, but we do see the Jax being locked in, obviously. Would be naturally a Jax in the jungle. We don't see Jax top lane too much, but it'll be interesting how Alec goes in the jungle, whether he does go for that more tanky-ish Jax going this in the Hulk route, or if he wants to go for that duelist sort of style with the warrior enchantment.
There's only one way to find out when we get into that game at the moment. Oh, coming in with very two popular, those 2 picks right there. Just the work again for False Algae. And the Jax coming in for once. It's interesting to see the Jax being picked out this time. I know Jax is pretty powerful against the Warwick, especially with that, especially with the counter strike, which sort of negates Warwick's ability to be able to keep that lifesteal up, as well as his bite onto Jax. So it's he's effectively taking out 1 solo ability straight off the bat right there.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that Counter Strike could actually be used up against the Warwick, but I just realized again, Warwick's Q does count as auto attack. I think it applies on hit effects, so I tend to think it would block that.
It's considered a basic attack, much like Camille, Yorick, and Narcissus with their Qs that are all considered basic attacks, as well as actually I only discovered this recently. Twisted Fate with his cards. When he uses that card shuffle or pick a card, gold card, red card, or blue card, Counter Strike negates that.
Wow.
So if they didn't have if they had a Twisted Fate on their team, Jax automatically counters him straight away. So it's he won't be able to get out of a sticky situation using that gold card as easily.
Yeah, and talking about actually on-hit effects abilities, Renekton, not many people realize that Renekton's W also, I believe the next two auto attacks are slightly stronger and they also apply a very small stun. Obviously, it would have been much better if Renekton was up against Jax, but once again, Renekton being shown in the top lane, we don't see many bruises up in the top lane, mainly just because of the lack of rune suitability for them. So it'll be interesting what Larson decides to go. We do see the Maokai being picked up though. Once again, very solid tank. Not sure how fair being on the other winning. Was it the winning? No, still on the winning side of
Well, we seem to have a mirror match. Well, we seem to have the same picks as last game. Varus being picked for Korax, Maokai being picked for Lord, and False Algae coming in with the Warwick pick at the moment. I can only assume, but they can't get the complete mirror matchup again because Brom has been picked for Aswiz. Shoot won't be able to pick Brom this time around, so I'm curious to see what he's going to pick to be able to counteract that Brom.
I would tend to perhaps go for another playmaking support such as the Alistair or the Thresh. Perhaps even go as far as even the Blitzcrank, but I wouldn't really be putting my odds up against that sort of thing. Or we do see a Cogmore being hovered for Drunken. We should just call him Drunken, or what should we call him? Drunken or Holic?
We'll call him drunk. Oh, it's actually we'll call him Holic.
Alright, so yeah, that is the lock-in for Holic. Actually, interestingly, Cogmore was just recently nerfed in this this patch. Actually, removing quite. Ooh, it's a Zoe.
Hey, she's hovering over it. Corex is hovering over Zoe. No, we're gonna see the Corky one. Oh, crazy coming over that Corky pick once again. That's gonna be fun to play with. This looks like it's gonna be another interesting matchup.
Yeah, sorry, back to the Cogmore. Cogmore's actually been nerfed within the past patch, actually, reducing his W damage down by 2%. And many people may not think that 2% is a lot, but considering the attack speed Cogmore has combined with all of the on-hit, that he provides, Rage Blade naturally doubling that on-hit. You're effectively taking out at least, 4, 5, 6% of that maximum health. Ooh, we do see a Victor. This is a matchup I've been looking forward to. A Victor, just because of the new buffs he's actually been received this patch. Not many know, but his cooldown for the ultimate has been reduced by 20 seconds. That ultimate actually being surprisingly more powerful than most people expect during the early game. But also, again, when Victor, I believe, uses his Q, his shield is increased by 60%.
Still
I mean,
very curious to see how this game's gonna match.
I've seen some very big Victor shields as of recently, actually going up against him in quite a few of my games. So it'll be interesting how a Hectic player decides to take Victor, because I know some players have even tried using Fleet Footwork just because of the AP scalings and the natural upgrade that Victor gets from his Hex core. So it'll be interesting how this sort of traditional mid lane matchup will go, especially just with how the buffs to Victor are being played.
And coming into this, looking at the complete matchup, since it's, we have complete teams at the moment, which side do you reckon will probably have this game around at the moment? Just based on the champion picks, not because of the team play, just based on the champion picks. Who do you think has the advantage at the moment?
It's a bit rough to see, mainly because even though Braum is considered more of a frontline tank, he isn't that sort of reliable initiation that you get from a sort of Maokai or a more traditional tank. So you'd expect the Jackson Renekton to try and catch out the pick, or even the Victor laying down the gravity field to try and slow, then stun someone up. So I don't really see a dominant front line from Undefeated in norms, but I do know that if they are able to secure that one pick, they have great pick potential just because of the smaller CC that they have. The Renekton auto attack reset with the W, Jack's counter strike, Vector gravity field, and of course the natural Braum concussive blows. Looking on the side of Melbourne University, though, they have the more traditional, with the peeling support, with the hyper carry in the mid lane and the in the role of ADC plus the traditional tank in the form of Maokai. Once again, we do have this semi-bruiser sort of jungler in the form of Warwick. So it'll be interesting how they want to approach it if they do decide to try and go for a more team fight orientated style like we did sort of see last game. But once again, it'll just be interesting how both teams play to try and secure the map in their own sort of playstyle.
A very sound judgment right there, with a lot of evidence to support it too. I'm going to go with University of Melbourne as well. Just the last game, how flawless they were and how well they played the champions in terms of playing together. It just really proved how effective they can be. Maokai being able to teleport in from behind, boxing them in with that nature's grasp right there to prevent them from being able to escape very easily unless they flash over the coming trees. And then Warwick, just his ability to be everywhere at once. I love it. It's very effective for a team situation. Varus with his ulti, if you have a team that can react very well to Varus when he ulties, just makes it very powerful. Like, they could easily zone in that one person and just take him out. And Gorky, once he gets that, Trinity Force, his kit begins to open up. He begins to blow up. And Janna being very powerful with her ability to poke, especially in the current meta with the Arcane Comet and a couple of the other fixtures that, enable her to poke very hard. Just makes it all the more interesting to see, Janna wasn't really very powerfully picked, as of recently over the last couple of months, but with the slight update and whatnot, she's been more reliable. So I'm hoping to see a similar matchup in game number 2 compared to number 1. But I am curious to see with the undefeated in normals. Yes, Eric, I am getting that slight confusion as well. The Jax and the Victor play. I want to see how Victor plays out. I've not seen him since his update.
That is true. And he has opted in for the heal flash. Unfortunately, viewers can't see it, but he has opted for the heal flash. On top of that, with Summon Airy, you would expect with someone with some sort of poke and slow, you would perhaps go and get Victor. Sorry, not Victor, Arcane Comet. But we do have a pause.
I put possibly a slight technicality, like, someone possibly DC'd or someone's having slight internet trouble. Eric, do you want to guide us through the 20-second sync timer?
While we do wait for the unpause, I did forget to mention that we do have these sort of two fighters in the forms of Jax and Renekton being able to get in there with the leap strike from Jax and also the slice and dice as well. So it'll be interesting how they counteract that, but of course they do have that Janna with the Monsoon. So looking at the side of University of Melbourne, they would definitely want to try and opt in for a team fight because this is how I picture it to go. We would have the Jax and the Renekton attempting to try and get onto that back line, but then the Maokai being able to split push would easily come in from the side using the Nature's Grasp and therefore keeping Undefeated in Norms their backline occupied. So with the Janna ultimate being used to heal up perhaps any damage inflicted, Crazy and Corex would be able to then turn their attention to the front line or even possibly the back line of Undefeated Norms. So I'm not sure really how Undefeated are able to take on team fights without some sort of early advantage or, plain mistake that we're able to see.
Absolutely. And as you were talking, I looked over at Drunkenholics, Keystone right there, and he's got lethal tempo. And with Braum as his frontline defense, when nothing can get through the unbreakable wall, it's going to be quite interesting with his ability to just overpoke, especially with that extended range he gets when he pops that W.
Yeah, I mean, he going for lethal tempo opposed to the fleet footwork is very dangerous, but considering that if you are able to get the Victor, the Jackson, the Renekton, and even the Braum to try and occupy, the team of University of Melbourne, there's not much stopping a Kog'Maw being able to free fire onto you. And no matter how much tank you have, even with an adaptive helm and a Thornmail, which I'd presume this Maokai would want to try and build just to counter that Kog'Maw damage, not many stand up against a very powerful 6-stack Rage Blade W empowered Kog'Maw. Mhm.
We apologize for this. We apologize for this pause, everybody. It is annoying, but we need to make the teams need to make sure that all players are actively ready to participate in this game. It can be a little bit annoying. Like, I'm pretty sure no one wants to go in a 4v5 situation unless you are completely nuts. But in that case, I love your I love your spirit. I hope it works out for you. I hope I never get a 4v5 situation. It is never fun. It's only fun when you're the 4 and you're winning.
Oh yeah, of course. You would never want to be the 4 and losing. Interestingly enough, I just picked up Jax actually has gone for Aftershock instead of a press the attack, which is
I can
more
assume he's
traditional.
going for a bit of an off-meta build where he wants to be tanky. He wants to be there upfront tanky, but the problem with that is that'll be hard to proc off if he doesn't get his counter strike out.
Yeah, I would only imagine that he would be able to make full use of it if he combined it also with his ultimate, because his ultimate in itself is a sort of, when you do activate it, a miniature aftershock, in the sense of the resistance increase for around, I believe, 10 seconds. Not too long, but still easily enough for a fighter slash duelist like Jax to try and, gain that bit of tankiness when he is naturally very squishy as a fighter.
I feel like there are better keystones suited to Jax at the moment, especially press the attack or lethal tempo. Lethal tempo is pretty good for being a very aggressive based Jax. The only problem with it is that it takes a moment to set up. So within that 1 second or 1.5 seconds it takes for that lethal tempo to be active, the other person can actually start running away from you, and you won't be within the zone to be able to make full effectiveness of the lethal tempo. But then there's also Electrocute or Predator. They're very good for a very bursty combination for Jax right there. But historically, it's usually better to go with press the attack because it can be prolonged in a fight. You can stretch out the fight, but you still be able to get those 3 stacks off.
Yeah, and obviously, with the press the attack normal for these sort of auto attack based champions, but just interesting thing about lethal tempo also considering that, lethal tempo, you want to try and have some sort of very sustained fight. But if you look at this, in these sort of tournaments where you do have coordinated team play, you rarely do see a sort of 1v1 unless you are going to answer split push and both of you do fight. It's very rare that you have these 1 versus 1, scenarios. So in all honesty, I do think that press the attack or even aftershock in this case, just going for that extra tankiness would be a fine substitute in these sort of bigger team play where you do have these more skirmishes, team fights when it's not necessarily 1 versus 1 where you'd see normally in solo queue.
To draw attention over to this cooldown timer, is it's still active down to 23 minutes 50. Eric, I need a confirmation. Is it 10 minutes that they are allowed for the pause timer? Okay, just needed to make that confirmation for the viewers, mainly for the viewers at home and myself, just so that way we're clear on what's happening at the moment, because it's drawing out quite long, and it's nearing the 10-minute mark. We're just under 7 minutes at the moment, but I'm pretty sure our viewers would have better things to do than just sit here and watch a pause screen for 10 minutes as either team is trying to fix themselves up.
Yeah, apologize for that pause, guys. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure everyone has dealt with problems of internet or perhaps a computer crashing or Windows deciding to update last minute while you're about to head into that league game. So hopefully this pause should be rectified soon and we should get back into this very interesting game featuring a Victor, a recently nerfed Kog'Maw, and Janna.
Welcome to Oceania, where your internet sucks And the games last forever.
I mean, I believe it was established that Oceania actually did have the longest ranked game recently. I believe it was in one of the Ask Riot forums, and they said it was around, ironically, 4 hours and 20 minutes. 420.
What the hell? Not sure if they're trying to go for a record or for the best meme of 2018.
Oh, I mean, it could be both. And we do have an unpause right now.
Looks like
Pause
I'm
on
paused on 10.
Yep. Yeah, now we are into the game. Sorry for that very, very long pause. Both teams should have everything sorted out right now. Few pings coming out from both sides.
I'm finding it very interesting that UIN are collectively 5-manning together right now to take that invade to the bottom lane. We see Warwick, Varus, and Jana with a passive startup becoming human wards. They've already taken notice that all 5 members are present in the bot lane. We can see Corki and Maokai making entrance for their red. There is no ward active at the moment. They are going in completely blind.
Yeah, and I mean, all 5 of them were spotted down. All 5 of Undefeated were spotted, so I think they're just doing a bit of scouting, not really looking for too much of a fight. Cogmore just throwing out an emote in case anyone saw him and decided to see that Vayne emote.
I think he was trying to give him a little bit of a show. Show him that he means business this game. He's not going to let the last game playing as Vayne, hinder him any further. And we see a slight catch up from Reddington right there.
Ooh,
That's a
having to use
3-man
the
touch
slice
out.
and dice. Had to use the slice and dice to escape that. And I mean, right when the minion is about to spawn, I believe Larson will have to recall for that, unfortunately. So,
And that is why you save your abilities until you get into the proper team fight. So you know whether you need something to help close the gap on a team fight or to get away from a team fight.
yeah, unfortunately, it won't give him too much lane dominance like a normal Renekton would like to have in that early phase of the game. But unfortunately, that is the risk of having to go with a 5-man invade without warding the rest of your respective jungle.
He may have costed him that early startup, but he did pop that teleport to make sure he stays in the fray. It just means that if he gets forced backwards, he's going to be behind even further at this point.
Oh, we do see Warwick coming onto Jax. Warwick only having 1 buff, Jax having 2 buffs. Counter-Strike comes out, Blast Cone gets him to safety.
And as I mentioned in the champion selection, that Counter-Strike actually prevented Warwick from being able to get that bite right onto him. He managed to dash behind him, but he could not do any damage to him at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a very excellent start to Jax's sort of clear, knowing that he's got that 2 buffs before Warwick. So luckily, Jax clearing up his upper walls. Bit of trading going in the mid lane as well as the bot lane. Holic being taken low before does manage to heal up with the 1 health pot. Not sure if he has Bloodline for that lifesteal, but we will just.
Oh, mid lane's having quite a powerful match. I'm liking how False Algae is playing his Warwick right now, especially as a jungle. His pathing was very powerful. He takes Jax's red and then comes to take his own to make sure that Jax isn't there. Unfortunately, because of the distance he had to travel, that was more than enough time for Jax to secure his red and steal that instead. So it's it's a very close mirror match at the moment, in terms of the gameplay between both junglers.
Yeah, Holic being taken really, really low. Ooh.
They are really abusing him. They are really bullying him.
Yeah, Unbreakable coming out from Aswiz just to protect that little Coggy, but I'm not exactly sure whether this Cogmore will be starved or farm, as he is relatively keeping up, knowing that there is this incoming wave towards him, not losing out too much. I believe the first, he does manage to secure that little melee minion with his little sludge, but
Corax is doing well. Corax and Shu are doing well to force him on the turret. The only thing that is sort of taxing on them is their inability to prevent him from collecting farm. He is still keeping a close gap on that farm, especially this early in the game.
Yeah,
Oh, we see a
knowing that-
Warwick jumping over
Ooh.
with the explosive seed. He smells the blood hunt. Jax is invaded into Warwick's jungle. He is near his blue buff. He is looking to counter the jungle right there, take his entire
Ooh.
farm. He is a little bit too late, but he might be able to get that single Gromp at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole like being taken very low again, now losing a bit on the farm, almost barely a wave's lead Corex has on this Kog'Maw, but we'll just have to see how this will go, knowing that Varus is meant to be this sort of ADC lane bully, despite being so immobile.
At the moment, it's anybody's game at this point, and it really comes down to who makes the first move, who gets the first lot of deaths, or like who manages to get the largest killing spree to start off with.
Yep.
It's very clean and passive though at the moment. Like Jax is doing very well to counter jungle. Unfortunately, his efforts do go for naught, as a majority, a majority of our gear is pretty much like being able to wave clear and whatnot. And Warwick picking up that first item being the Tiamat, very typical, very historic pick. But as well, it's very good for camp clearing, especially with the splash damage from that, the Tiamat's passive at the moment, as well as the active, which makes it easier for him to clear a camp and make himself known to, or make himself present to a lane if he has that Bloodhunt active.
Yeah, interesting to see actually looking up towards top lane, although quite the island so far. Maokai has been able to keep up in farm, which is actually quite surprising against Renekton, who you would presume to be quite the lane bully.
Well, guess what's also being a lane bully? We see Warwick here into the river. He's placed a ward down, but unfortunately the river scudder was present too, so Warwick was caught out a little bit right there.
We do see better mana management from Lord. Bit of a tussle going on there. Aftershock does manage to keep his resistances high and his health healthy.
Jax is going after the dragon. He knows where Warwick. For those who might have missed it, on the mini-map, Jax actually pinged over towards the wolf camp, where Warwick might be, and Warwick, he guessed correctly. Warwick was actually there, just sitting there taking
Holic
him.
doing a bit of tussling, trying to make sure they don't get onto the... Ooh, turning back on to shoot. Flash comes down for both Shoot and Corex. Shoot taken very low. One more stack onto... Ooh, doesn't manage to get it.
No, quite. That was a very close fight right there. But ultimately, Undefeated Normals managed to collect the dragon right there. They almost collected a first kill too. The first blood almost went to Corki.
Yeah,
He flashed into the fray, and he still has his heal, and Brom still has his flash. But University of Melbourne are now without summoners. So when it comes to another team situation, and they are in a tussle, University of Melbourne will be at the disadvantage if they don't get control of that team fight.
Yeah, so you'd expect to try and get Alec to try and come towards this bot lane soon, knowing that the summoners are down on the side of University of Melbourne. Unfortunately, we do know Jana, being that very peel-orientated support that she is, she won't make it easy for Jack to try and get on to that very immobile and vulnerable carrier of Varus.
I'm curious to see how she's going to try and work with this matchup at the moment. Oh, Victor's got that blue buff. That's not going to make things fun for Corki right there.
Corki has picked up the Sheen though, so should make things also relatively alright. Victor has also picked up his first Hex Core upgrade, giving him a decent 100 mana. So blue buff plus that 100 mana should be suffice for Victor. Once again, Corki does have that sort of power lead.
Oh,
ooh,
that burst of damage right there from Victor. Oh man, he is a threat.
Yeah, I mean, if he had gone electrocute, that would have been a much bigger threat, knowing that most of the members, the main carries and supports on Melbourne University would be squishy. It would be better for him to go for that electrocute. Unfortunately, he did go into the summon area.
It would make sense. He gets the mana flow ban, the extra movement speed, the scorch, the ability to be able to poke. Gets a basic attack. The area flies and hits him in the face. Top lane, we have a team fight happening right now. We've got, Renekton versus Maokai. Maokai does get that Nature's Grasp out to try and increase the gap between him and
Lord's
Jax.
still surviving. Has to blow the flash.
Maokai did well to get himself out of that situation. He is ahead in farm, and he is able to continue poking. throws a cheeky little sap, a secret little sap over into the bush to try and catch out Reddington. Oh, Warwick comes into the fight, into the river, comes in with that grasp. He gets the infinite duress out onto Rennington. Rennington's pressing attack is off. Mirko comes into the fight, takes down Jax for the first blood. Oh, a double flash being burned by Warwick and Victor. Victor pops his ulti, gets everything down. Corky's continuing the fight, gets the exhaust out onto Victor. Victor is in a tough spot. Oh, Warwick comes in from behind with the blood hunt. He continues the fight, gets the howl on, puts them both in a disarray, gets a second kill, gets a third kill. That's a fucking triple kill right there, folks.
Yeah, like, that was a very, very scrappy fight from the looks of it. Obviously, Maokai being taken low from that gang from Jax, and then, you know, just the respective junglers and mid lanes coming to help. And I for sure would have thought that Jax would have at least picked up the kill onto false algae, but things just happened to turn out right for them.
That made me tear up a little bit. I'm really loving Warwick right now. False algae, you make me happy to love playing Warwick, and you just make me want to play him even more right now in gameplay. I really loved how he went around. He did a circle. He did a lap around that top island right there. He flashed over the wall, went back around his top turret, came all the way around through the top lane, past the midpoint, goes through the river and catches them both from behind, and keeps them in that danger zone. That was spectacular. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, considering also he did get the extra movement speed just because they were below 50% out health, helped him that bit more. Oh,
I believe one of them was below 30%, which gave him even more movement speed. Oh, Warwick. Ooh. Corky and Warwick really putting Victor on that backline right now, forcing him back to be more defensive more than anything.
Nature's Grasp Buzz does come out from Maokai, doesn't manage to pick anyone up, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you try and do get a jungler and a Corki ahead, just because of the nature of the Corki. 80% of his auto attack damage is actually converted into magic damage. So often people would think, hey, maybe I can try and use a, Ninja Tabi to try and, negate this damage. We do. Ooh, Infinite Stress goes on to the Jax. Counter Strike comes out, as well as the Grandmaster's Might. Jax might be able to just get away with this, just smiting the Krugs to get a bit of extra health back.
I'm loving the fact that he still has his flash. He did not pop that. He used the explosive seed to throw everyone off of balance and away from him, as well. He dashed over the wall to get the minions.
Oh, we do see a dive in the bot lane. Shoot going very low. He has to use the monsoon. Ooh, very taken low. Azure just blocking it, but unfortunately, he does manage to get the tower into his favor, and Holoc goes down.
He tried getting that second passive off to take Janna down with him, but unfortunately Janna was all to get away from him. That was very powerful poke. The overextended poke was really great. Just the fact that he was within turret range and took a single hit from that turret, he met a very fatal end right there.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Braum didn't actually use his ultimate. Oh, we do see in the mid lane, False Attribute coming onto Victor again, popping the Percy attack, but respectfully backing away from the gravity field.
I'm just loving how this is going out so far. Just Warwick is really dominating the map. He is really proactive right now, and just Jax is passively farming everything. He's collecting his camps, he's collecting his buffs. Maokai in the top lane taking himself onto Rennington, getting that grasp onto him, latching himself on, gets the fight in. Rennington is now forced under his own turret, so now he is forced into a defensive spot. Maokai is still at full health. He might be looking for a turret dive, just seeing how low he is at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sunfire is not a personal favorite item of mine, but when you do see a very tanky Maokai, you can't do much about that.
No, unless you have items that counteract health, you're pretty much going to be stuck in a very defensive position, I think.
And I think that's where they are trying to trust in this Kog'Maw. Unfortunately, the one early death not being able to do much. Varus 20 CS up, so quite a considerable lead, almost a kill. You do see a second attempt for Baron. Teleport being channeled for both top laners. I think Maokai is going to get here first. Oh, Renekton does get knocked up, does have to use the Slice and Dice. Corki flanking around, Nature's Grasp palming out. I'm not sure where this is gonna go. Who's gonna go down first? Counter-Strike comes in onto the back line. Ooh, Drunken Holic has slain down the Maokai. And I think, yep, that will be the Jax next. Crazy trying to do as much as he can, but that is just a very messy team fight. Korek still very low, but that is a nice cleanup from the side of Melbourne University.
Looks like University of Melbourne in game number 2 being just as proactive as the first game. Corky is being their carry right there. Holy moly, look.
Yeah, I mean, the Valkyrie forward having to blow the flash and the heal from Victor just shows how willing he is to go forward, knowing that the Valkyrie is actually the only way, besides in a flash for Corky to escape.
I guess he's just being very crazy right now.
I see what you did there.
Hey. Just as much as how crazy Corky's build is at the moment. Just look at, Cogmore's build right there. Just look at that. The first item is a Wit's End.
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense because the passive gives him that extra 40, the 40 magic damage, and that's very hard. That's very hard to counter in the early game matchup.
Yeah, true, but also it is also quite a big respect to the Corky and also to the slight magic damage that Virus also does, just because all we do see package as Wiz might be caught out here. And he promptly does go down. Algebro picking up that kill, and once again, I just see University of Melbourne just being able to get these picks so cleanly. We do see a slight mid push being, but Warwick has some of the rift
Maokai goes in for the charge, gets caught out. That's a 2v2 situation. Victor goes down in the mix with that completed Triforce on Corky. Jax trying to get himself away, dashes over the wall. Reddington takes the blue and dashes away, but heads in the opposite direction. They are still following after Jax right there. Maokai, Reddington is completely invisible right now.
I mean, if this Jax is able to get out
catch out right there. No, the counter attack was not up, unfortunately. Jax goes down without a fight.
We do see bot being completely destroyed down there to the side of Melbourne University, popping that Rift Herald. As with going on, Chain of Corruption going on as well. False Algebra having to use the Infinite US to escape. Larson maybe being able to escape, but unfortunately I think this Virus is just trying to stall for his team.
And a bounty goes towards Undefeated and Normals right there. That is a 50 gold spread between all members. No, sorry, 60 gold spread between all members.
Does manage to catch out the Brom again, and he does go down very promptly.
Warwick is proving to be very formidable in this early part of the game, right? Just 4 kills, 1 death, 5 assists. 81 CS. He is a little bit behind in his CS, but he's making up for it quite well. He's getting his Corky fed, he's getting his Varus fed. Maokai is doing well. He is quite ahead at the moment. Just a slight little howl, just to make Jax run in fear. Oh, we see a 3-man tackle right here. A flash from Warwick after the jump. That leaping strike really put Warwick in the defense, but that flash really pulled it, really came through for him.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see that push down in the bot lane. It would just be so interesting how University of Melbourne try to capitalize on this, knowing that the bot lane of Undefeated is just completely open, and they have no control whatsoever, besides them placing down a few wards within the blue side of their jungle. So it'll be interesting where Melbourne University try and focus their efforts next, knowing that the air drag, although not the most influential dragon at times, is up though, and may be an objective to try and contest around.
See a slight little reset happening here, but towards the top of our screen, everybody, we see in the gold accumulation, University of Melbourne are ahead by a whopping almost 8,000 gold. Actually, 8,000 gold lead right there. With 4 turrets taken down, they don't have a dragon, but that doesn't really matter too much to them. Undefeated and Normals do have that mountain dragon, so it will give them a little bit of a helping hand if they manage to push turrets. It'll make their pushing capabilities a little bit more comfortable with that increased damage towards turrets. And Jax with the large monsters, as well as clearing out the Dragon Pit as well as the Rift Herald. Just look at that
Yep.
little Corky. Just making his little patrol.
Yeah, and I mean, already Varus having picked up both the Rage Blade and the Hurricane before 20 minutes. This just proves how powerful this Varus is. He doesn't need a Lethal Temper to keep up an attack speed. He's got a flipping Ruinance Hurricane and a Rage Blade.
And having those two items on their own with 2 daggers in the kit with a Berserker's Greaves, he has really gone full on attack speed, and he is going to be very problematic in a team fight situation. Unfortunately, because there was no Brock, because Brom is on the enemy team, he won't have that safety from all skill shot based abilities with that Unbreakable.
Yeah, we do see the air dragon going to the side of Melbourne University. Does slightly help, I guess, in this case, with the Warwick being able to chase up onto those low health targets. But once again, not too many objectives gotten for Undefeated, unfortunately. We'll just have to see whether they try and use this Mountain Dragon, even though very small, to try and push some towers out, given that they have such protection from the Brom.
It's going to be very problematic for a team fight if when it comes to contesting an epic monster. And when I say epic monster, I mean the Baron Dragon, because the Mountain Dragon actually gives them that 10% damage bonus at the moment. Oh, Jax comes in. Just continues the fight with Victor catching Jana in his shield. You know, that was a clean kill right there. Very easy, very uncontestable. Jana could not get herself out of that. She has both summoners up, but she knew she was not going to make it. So she's
But we do look toward the Baron.
Oh! What did we just see right there? We saw a sneaky Baron steal.
Yeah, and I think the life of a Jana for a Baron steal?
I think that's worth
Baron
it.
take? I
One
think that's
death for
worth
4
it.
Baron buffs right there.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see now Crazy and Corex trying to push up this mid lane, knowing that when the minions will come, they will be reinforced, but they are the 2 carries being alone with not too much protection. Jana does make her way up. Maokai still in that side lane. Nature's Grasp just being recently used to zone Undefeated off the Baron. So it'll be interesting when that does come up.
I have to point out, Corky, Varus, and Victor, their CSing capabilities, their CS per minute, I love it. It's almost 10 CS a minute right there. That is like the best that it can't get any better than that. It almost literally can't get any better than that. And just with that, they are able to, like, you know, they are able to accumulate those items early game. They might be able to get to a 6 item before 30 minutes right there. Jana getting that Howling Gale out right there, just almost taking Victor out. Victor popped the flash, get out of there though, so I was a little bit confused about that. Corky coming in the top lane, chasing down that Rennington, getting those ulti rockets out. Rennington unfortunately does get behind his wave and gets away. Oh, we have a team fight happening towards the mid lane here. We're seeing a tango between both teams. That is a turret contest right there.
Baron minions will take a while to take down. Luckily, no supers flooding in yet.
No, very clean fight. Warwick taking a lot of turret damage with those minions coming through. He's just given away his position a little too soon as Rennington and Victor are now making their way topside. Oh, Victor is really coming through for the team. He's really coming online now.
Yeah, but knowing that if they do manage to try and crack an inhibitor, Cogmore just not having...
Oh, Infinite Duress comes out onto Rennington. The Unbreakable does get taken for Braum, so he is locked out. Varus comes in with the ulti, and Jax is caught out in the fray and goes down. Victor takes Maokai down in the mix. The ulti was still active. That was a nice, clean 1-for-1 trade, but unfortunately, the winner or the overall victor does have to go to University of Melbourne because Undefeated normals were forced to the back. They were forced into the defensive line. They had to run away from that second tier turret right there, and now they have an inhibitor turret that they are pushing. That Baron buff is really proving effective for University of Melbourne right there.
Yeah, and to all of that fight, the Corex just using that Varus to free fire in the back line. Now we do look towards the bot lane, trying to go for that bot lane tower, knowing that they've got a bit of a stacked minion wave. Holic trying to do his best. Fortunately, he is forced away from it. Oh, we do see... Oh, Leap Strike onto Jana. Jana taken low. having to blow the heal from Korok just to keep the Jana alive.
It's very. It seems like it's a match too, all over again, just right there. Just, you know, University of Melbourne had a giant lead. They've got the Baron buff. All waves are pushed all the way into their turret. They have broken the base. They now have one inhibitor turret down. An inhibitor is exposed. So, yeah, undefeated normals need to pay a bit more attention to that if they want to survive.
Ooh,
But
infinite QS
unfortunately,
once
the catch
again.
out. Ooh, the double kill catch out right there. The triple going down. Maokai is in their base. He is in Jax's face. They want that kill. Oh, Cookie coming in with the rocket to sneak the extended kill right there. This might be
Maokai
a
going
complete
even
ace right there.
deeper.
That is a complete ace. For undefeated and normals, that was a clean catch out right there. Just, this is going to be serious right here. This is a series. This is series for University of Melbourne. University of Melbourne have absolutely dominated this series today.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, very good fight being put up by Undefeated, but once again, just the picks and the outplay of them.
Maokai goes down by the catch out. Braum tries to contest. Brennington pops his ulti, takes Jana down. The base is open. The Nexus is vulnerable. They all come alive, and just unfortunately, you know, University of Melbourne did have to leave. So I guess I was a little premature with the victory speech right there. The game is still alive, but hanging by a thread for, you know, undefeated normals. This is working out to be very, very powerful for University of Melbourne.
Yeah, and I mean, that was quite a good base defense, knowing that the tank, Maokai, he was very low already, and Jana being also quite low as well. Ooh. Ocean Drake being picked up for Undefeated, not being able to do much, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't even talk right now. Unfortunately, not being one of the more offensive sort of Drakes. Still a very good pickup if need that the game does extend and you do want to try and stall out End Turtle, ironically.
Not very much action happening here. We seem to have a slight reset between all players in the game. I'd say that near ace right on top of the Nexus really reset the game right there. Like, you know, Undefeated managed to pull themselves back into the game for a little bit longer, but how much longer can they stay alive?
Yeah, I think Melbourne University, they are kind of just waiting for this Baron, which is coming up in probably 1 minute. Oh, we do see Righteous Glory going on to the Jax. I'm not sure if Warwick's gonna been a bit too deep. Still very tanky package coming out for Corky. Chains of Corruption going in. That is a glacial fissure, but not much can be done as Jana uses the Monsoon. Larson trying to go into that backline. Oh, but this is a comeback. Oh, Var still free firing on from the backline. But that just looked so opportunistic for Undefeated, knowing that the Renekton just went balls to the walls in. But I think this will be the win for Melbourne University, unfortunately, to the dislike of Undefeated in norms.
And with that, everybody, that is the series for tonight. 2-0 in favor of Undefeated and normals. I love the way you guys played tonight, but when it's coming to University of Melbourne, they did end up matching his up and claiming the 2-0 tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I am Lux. I am joined by Millie Artillery.
Yep, I'm here. Thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but that is just the life of trying to stream games.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.